Hey guys, it's George with Diamondyard Sportscards coming at you with a couple contests, three contest responses for three great channels. Been having a great time in the community recently. There's a video posted yesterday by Jake Ticket Leprechaun. A little bit of the kind of the interaction we had. Went to the doghouse down in downtown Phoenix. Had some lunch and with him and his lovely wife Amy, and talked some baseball cards, talked some baseball, talked about life, and so. It was a really nice video that Jake put together, and I appreciate it. So this is about three video responses for three great channels. We have a video response for Steve Speaks, which, Steve, you've gotten a lot of subscribers really quickly, and it's because your content is really good, your presentation is great, and your little music in the background, I like that. So he's having a contest, and then we have John, Wade Boggs fan, who I'm a big fan of his channel. And so he's got a contest I'd like to do a response for. And then lastly, MrFisherbike, Jason. He's got an interesting contest. So I'm going to follow up here with these contest responses. Hope everybody is having a great Wednesday. It's Thursday. Just the start of the day, at least over here in Phoenix. So here we go. So guys, cards. Lots of them here. The first person I'm going to do the response for, let's get into this, is MrFisherbike, Jason. Now, he wanted to have some cards that were gifted to us by other YouTubers or other people. So I'm just going to go through a few of them here. And obviously, Jason's channel has been around for a long, long time. He's a fantastic guy. Fireman, puts together great content, and is awesome in the community. First one is from Base 1986, Jeremy. I won a contest maybe 2 years ago, in a 1986 top set, among some other things, and he packed it with all kinds of cool stuff, but had this Jose Uribe card in there, like a gag kind of thing. And you can see, if you look up the Jose Uribe online, you can see how much people want for it. So there was that one. This was a gift from a good friend of mine, my best friend in card collecting. We go to Long Beach show together. My friend Eric, he's going to be putting together a YouTube channel hopefully shortly. And he gave me this Nolan Arenado rookie. He had a great PSA submission about 2 years ago and got, goodness, probably like 5 Arenados and 10s right in a row. Back when they were giving out 10s, right? Anyway, so this beautiful Nolan Arenado rookie. I'm a huge fan of Arenado. I played third base for years in softball and in baseball in my younger years. And so I just think he's an outstanding player and love to watch him play defense and hit the ball. Next one, CardTech710, Dane, sent me this beautiful Ric Flair autograph. Dane's channel is fantastic. I know I talk about it a lot, but he's just got such a wide variety of stuff and such high grade and such a nice guy. So Dane had given me this awesome Ric Flair. Woo! And he sent me out at a different time, knowing that I'm a huge 80s wrestling fan, this awesome Andre the Giant in the 2. It's just fantastic. It looks way better in the 2 of the great Andre the Giant. And this wrestling star set has gotten a lot of love lately in the hobby, because it has Hogan and Flair and Dusty Rhodes. But I love this Andre. Thank you, Dane, again. Goodness, it's been a couple years now, but just a great card. Last one was more of it was a Pokemon card. This is my son Gavin's Pokemon card. But when I first was new to the YouTube community, Joey Brings It ran a contest, and it was toward the end. It was a couple years ago around New Year's, more like three years ago around New Year's, and he said he was going to give away some free gradings. Snoop won them all, and then Snoop ended up giving them to people. So 5 free gradings from Joey Brings It. And Joey then says, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to give 5 other gradings for free. And so he decided to give a grading to my son Gavin, who had pulled the Cynthia from the Hidden Fate Ultra Prism set, and he flipped out because it was so awesome. And so we decided, with a free grading that Joey was going to give us, to send out to him to get it graded by PSA. So, and this is a while back, and you guys who are fans of my channel, you've seen this, but this is Gavin's card, and it got a 10. And so really it would never have it may have gotten submitted, but certainly not at the time frame it was. And it came back at 10. So I guess it's a pretty popular Pokemon card, like every Pokemon card, and has a little more value than just your regular cards. So thank you, Joey. So these cards were all cards from great friends and YouTubers as gifts. So thank you, Jason, for putting that contest together. I hope that fulfills my response. Next one was John, Wade Boggs fan. He has cards that don't fit in our collection, which I thought was really interesting. As you guys know, I collect mostly baseball, vintage baseball, modern baseball, basketball, mostly vintage basketball, some modern basketball, football, vintage and modern. That's pretty much it. But back when I was first collecting, I got into I picked this up. This is an old grade 81 Donruss statistical leader, Jack Nicklaus, in an 8, which at the time I thought, when I first got back into the hobby in like 2006, 2005, I thought, man, it's a high grade. And I didn't know really about how centering, I know how centering is from when I was a kid looking at cards, but this Jack Nicklaus was one of the cards I think kind of is odd in my collection, frankly, but I've held on to it over all these years. I'm going to go back in time with these. Another card is kind of odd to my collection, but I'm a huge Beatles fan, a lifetime Beatles fan, like half the world is. But this card, 64 Beatles Diary Ringo Starr in 8.5. I love this card because it just has a picture of all 4 of them right there. Unfortunately, Ringo's got a big print mark on his face, which is why it's an 8.5. But I just thought it was a great picture. It looks like it's really early on, probably, you get McCartney there with the Hofner bass. But this kind of doesn't really fit in my collection. But I guess if you really know me, you know that I love the Beatles and try to pick up stuff if I can. But it's just kind of a neat card. Another one, boxing cards. Jake LaMotta. I've showed this one off before. 48 Leaf. Love 48 Leaf. I have had football cards in my collection like Doak Walker and Sid Luckman. Gotten rid of those, but can't seem to get rid of these, and I bought them a while ago. The Joe Louis is the big one in this one, and Rocky Graziano, obviously, is the huge one. But I also have Sugar Ray Robinson. So I did a video a long time ago. I think it was on Nate, Tops 85401 here, his contest, or Baseball Card Junkies TV, and these two guys just fought so many fights. But these cards really don't fit in my collection, essentially, but I guess I just love these old cards, and 2 legends here who battled it out at least, I believe, 5 times, fought each other, and many people would agree that Sugar Ray Robinson's is definitely in the conversation for the greatest pound for pound boxer of all time, if not the greatest. So last card for John doesn't fit in my collection. This Gaudy 33 Indian Gum Geronimo. I probably showed this off in one of my very first videos. I picked this card up online for almost nothing years ago. I got a 4. Was shocked. The colors are fantastic. But, living out here in Arizona, the Native American culture is very prominent. And, in this set, specifically the Gaudy set, Indian Gum set, there's a lot of really interesting characters in history. And Geronimo would be one of them. And we have, it's got Billy the Kid in it, all kinds of Davy Crockett. Anyway, so kind of doesn't fit in my collection really, but I find it to be an extremely interesting card with beautiful color. So last response is for Steve Speaks, top 5 cards in your collection. Well, these are just not necessarily my top 5 cards, they're just cards I like, and there's more than 5 of them here. And some of them I don't have access to. I probably put a 50 Bowman Jackie on the list here, but I don't have one around right now. And so these are cards that were around that I just have fond memories of and are some of my favorites. It's so hard to pick a favorite card, so that's what makes it such a great contest question. So this first one, if I don't break it, is a 1986 Flair Julius Erving. And I love this card. I saw Dr. J when he was battling against the Celtics, trying to get to the finals again. That's when I remember him on the Sixers. I don't remember the Dr. J of the ABA, even though I do collect him heavily and watch a lot of highlights. But when they came back with this 86 Flair set, there were some cards that really put in perspective the way the style was of the player at that time. And number one is probably the Jordan rookie. That Jordan rookie, that picture of Jordan is just, at the time when we were opening these packs in 1986, you really, not only you wanted a Jordan, but you wanted that card looked so cool. It still does, and that's why it's so popular. But this Julius Erving, with him dunking there over Michael Cooper, just really is kind of the essence of what Dr. J was all about. Showtime, and taking on the Lakers in the finals in '83, one of the greatest teams of all time. So this is from my personal collection when I was a kid. I pulled this from a pack, and then later on, years ago, got it graded. So it is one of my favorite cards. of one of my favorite players of all time, Julius Erving. Next card is this 1955 Topps Willie Mays. And, you know, sorry about that, guys. Let me fix my camera. This Mays kind of gives a real good example of the kind of cards that I like to collect. I like to have high-grade cards, but as everybody would. But my camera is not cooperating. Sorry, guys. I mean, this is just a beautiful, beautiful example. And, you know, it's just, cards are beautiful. And, you know, you're talking about a 3.5 here, but I mean, the gloss on this thing is fantastic. The centering is really good. And the corners of that. It's a card somebody who's been in somebody's collection, and they've gone through and they've looked at this card. And that's what the condition tells me. Somebody, when it came out of the pack, it was awesome. It still is awesome. But, you know, it's just a card that's been around for this 1955, and some kid was looking at it, and it's beautifully well centered, which is what I look for. The color is really nice. There's not a whole lot of like marks on it, but some kid has played with this over the years, may have been passed down, and that's what interests me about cards, is the story behind them. And so this is the kind of card that I really like to collect. You know, if you can find yourself a nice 2, a nice 3, a nice 4 of a card, a great card, you know, you can really feel happy about that. You know, buying a 7 is nice. Buying an 8 is great. But boy, you know, these are just older cards that look like this. Really get me going. I love them. Okay, Rod Carew, my favorite player growing up. And this card is important because, one of my favorite cards, because it's his first major issue Angels card. He was with the Twins, and in 1979 was traded to the Angels. Was the highest paid player in baseball at that time. And then, you know, I didn't know at the time there would be a hostess card that would show him on, the hostess card would show him on the Angels once he got traded from the Twins. And that came out earlier, but this was the first major issue. And I took my bike down to the store at a 7-Eleven when I was a kid, but I only could buy a couple packs. And I remember pulling not this specific Rod Carew, but this card from there. So that was another one of them. So I'm going to put that one over here. One of my favorites. Don Mattingly, as you can see in the background, got some Mattingly stuff over there. This is the first insert of Don Mattingly, and that 86 Flair was the first insert. But this card just struck me as just the essence of Don Mattingly. Back in the day when we were buying 87 Flair, it's just the essence of Mattingly, the crouch, the stance, the way he would coil and then like explode on the ball. You know, his ability to hit for average and power and, you know, not strike out and move guys over and all the things Don Mattingly did, the great defense. And I just loved this 87 Flair. You know, you get probably about 5 of these All-Star cards per wax box. They were inserts. I know Nate loves them. I do too. And these cards just, you know, this All-Star team, there were only 12 All-Stars maybe on the Flair All-Star team. They were the best players each position at that year. And boy, I just love this Don Mattingly, the essence of kind of, you know, who he was with the crouch and the stance. Another card, this is one of my favorite baseball cards just because of the colors. The beautiful colors on this Hank Aaron. And I like this specific one because obviously it's got his signature on it. But Hank Aaron, you know, one of the greatest hitters of all time. And the back has just a great season, his best season ever. All around, you know, I think he hit, I wish I could, 355, 39 home runs, 123 RBIs, 223 hits, 118 runs. I mean, it's just an over 400 total bases season, which is just rare in the post-Babe Ruth, Rogers Hornsby era. And just a beautiful, beautiful card. I do collect these Hank Aaron's 1960. I'm always on the lookout for them. And boy, just a beautiful card with the colors. The 1960 set is probably my favorite set of the 60s, and I just think it's a fantastic issue. And the autograph is pretty cool too. I get 2 more cards here. One is the Jackie Robinson, Burke Ross. This Robinson, you know, is on my picture for my avatar for YouTube. I just always thought the 52 Burke Ross set was outstanding. There's so many stars in there. It's kind of an alternative set, and it's finally getting some love in the hobby. So really like that Jackie. So we'll put that over here. It's also one of his only cards where he's in the field. other than like, your Bond Breads that are super rare. Last card for this contest is, Matt Burke. This is a 2005 Topps football card. And this Topps football card is my son Luke. I got back into the hobby in 2005. After my first son Luke was born, I remember him sitting on the ground in my office and being very young, a couple, I don't know, maybe 6 months old. And he just I had some cards on the ground and he was chewing on this Matt Burke card. And I was just getting back into the hobby, learning about graded cards, starting to try to submit cards. I've been away from the hobby for a long time, but this reminds me of my oldest son, Luke, kind of just sitting there as a very, very young guy, little guy. And he just chewed the heck out of this Matt Burke, and I've kept it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a long video. Please subscribe to Mr. Fisherbike, Steve Speaks, and John Wade Boggs Fan. Take care and keep collecting.